Hello, so this week in PR we discussed First Nations. In class we looked at a lot of different First Nations for a variety of countries. Over 90 countries in the whole world have Indigenous communities, which I found so fascinating. So I decided to look a little bit into my background, so my home country of South Africa. So for First Nations in South Africa, the very first people there of the Indigenous community was the now called Khoisan. With the Khoisan people, they actually started out as two different tribes, the Khoi tribe and the San tribe. But nowadays they've merged into one since they are the predominant First Nations, and it's their culture, well, both their cultures combined, that's in the real danger. Looking at Hofstede's dimensions, especially long-term and short-term orientation, looking at the two tribes, even though they're merged now, the Khoi tribe is very short-term orientated, with having no real plans, very nomadic. They traveled from like South Africa to Botswana to Namibia, just very broad all over, whereas the San tribe was similar to our Aboriginal people here in Australia, where they followed the seasons and they moved around seasonally, where the food and animals would grow and migrate to, which was quite interesting. Then I decided to look at the Hofstede dimension online for South Africa in general. And the thing I really found interesting, most of the dimensions weren't too bad or too surprising at all, but one thing I found really interesting was a point they had at the bottom stating that the scores here are for the white population of South Africa. The majority of the population is Black African, and their scores may be very different from those presented above. So that in itself just goes to show you how, I guess, unclear and diverse and different everything really is, and how we do need to try and integrate and take notice of the whole picture, especially when it comes to First Nations.